Hello, YouTubers. This is Rosie Lenz at Spirit Blossom Psychics. I bring to you two things today: my top 10 list for today, and also a letter from a woman who's really frustrated with the situation. So before I start, please, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, please share, please comment, and I really appreciate that. It's so awesome of you. So let's move on to the letter. So, Dear Garden Oracle, I'm married into a family that is so bougie that it drives me crazy. Even though I have more education and I'm a gracious and loving person, I get treated like a second-class citizen. They put me down, they intentionally exclude me from conversations, and I have actually been left out of family weddings where my husband has only been invited. This is getting very hurtful. I don't want to be ungracious. I was raised with more class than that. What do I do? Signed, Frustrated with the Family. Okay, so frustrated with the family. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do the top 10 list first for today, and then I'm going to give you my take on it, okay? I've done thousands of readings, and a lot of them pertaining to family and frustration with in-laws. Even somewhere people are saying my in-laws cursed me or hired a voodoo doctor to curse me, okay? I don't know if people actually have gone that far, but to feel that you are just being excluded and outed because they are they're better than you. So here's our top 10 list based on inspired by the letter by this poor woman who's having to deal with some very bourgeois family. Let's look at the definition of bourgeois first. The middle class, typically in reference to its perception of materialism or value, or conventional attitudes. Now, bougie, according to the Standard Dictionary, is a thin, flexible surgical instrument for exploring or dilating a passage of the body. The Urban Dictionary defines it as aspiring to be in a higher class than one really is. Bingo! That's where this woman is sitting. So I'm going to give the top 10 list. I'm going to address your question, my dear. Top 10 ways to know if your in-laws or future in-laws are bougie. Number 10. They ask you if your purse, clothes, or something that you have is a knockoff. Talk about belittling. That's just like, oh, I have the real thing. Oh, I got this for my birthday. Oh, yours has to be a knockoff. Well, you know, it's just bougie. Number 9. They throw a lavish party, but drive a gremlin or an old car. Number 8. They play up the cousin or the family member who just got out of prison as if he is a saint with 10 halos. Of course, he was framed. It's not his or her fault. It was their friend's fault. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, no, I don't think so. Number 7. They never remember your birthday, anniversary, or special occasions, but boy, if you don't remember theirs, you sure hear about it. Number 6. They only call you if you can serve them, and they avoid your calls unless they want to use you. They always have an agenda. Bougie. Number 5. They ignore you and have you as a +1 on an invitation to a wedding if you're invited at all. If you're being excluded from parties, if you're being excluded from invitations, or if you're an afterthought, and you have a chance you're not married yet, don't do it. You will always be a second-class citizen with these people, and they will never really accept you for the bright and beautiful person that you are. Number 4, they spend more time posing for social media and presenting a certain lifestyle than anybody else you will ever know. People that are bougie practice posing in front of their mirror. They practice with selfie sticks. They have done everything that they can to hi, or they have mastered the art of posing to present themselves a certain way when they are an entirely different way. Number 3, their children, grandchildren, family are naturally more superior than yours because they're connected to their blood. Your blood is not in their blood. And your children, if you have children with a spouse that comes from a bougie family, they only acknowledge their family's part of it as being valid. Like, oh, it's just like Nana Georgina or Uncle Fred or Grandpa Joe, right? They don't acknowledge that it could be coming from your side of the family, the brilliance of this child. Number 2, they only invite you to a party if they need booze, food, or they want a gift from you. And they will tell you what is an acceptable gift. Meaning that if it's below a certain price range, they're going to talk about it for a very long time. And they do talk behind your back a lot. Number 1, and before I give you number 1, please smash that subscribe button. Please like, share, favor, comment, because I want to keep bringing these broadcasts to you. This is all based on readings I've done for 46 years. I want to share this wealth of information to hopefully keep you from experiencing pain or knowing how to handle life's issues, because I've worked with a lot of people to help them recognize and rise above these issues. So let's move on to number 1. And please do subscribe. I love connecting with us. They make a point of having conversations where you are excluded, run down, or embarrassed. In the case of one of my clients, and I don't give names, but I'll give loose circumstances. She is standing there with a group of what would be sisters-in-law. There's a bunch of them. It's a big family. And they're talking about a cruise that they are all going on together. She was not invited. They have consistently excluded her from events because she's not the same religion as they are. They don't interact with her. They don't send her birthday cards, Christmas cards, but they expect to get them from her. So if you are not married into a bougie family yet, realize if you're marrying the person, you're marrying the family. And unless that person is willing to stand up for you, don't do it. These are some of the most difficult situations because people really want to, for the most part, want to be gracious, loving people. And I do have faith in humanity. But I also know I've talked to a lot of people who have been thrown into the mix of what they discovered were to be very bougie families. Be together long enough before you're married to know if you're with a bougie family. Now to go back to the letter from the woman that I received for me Ask the Garden Oracle. All right, my dear. So you are married to someone whose family is outing you, embarrassing you, criticizing you, and more than likely stabbing you in the back, and only marginally accepting you because you are connected to the favored son. Okay. Here's the thing. If they don't invite you, don't go. Do something else. Make other plans. Go where you're wanted. Do not put your life and your self-esteem in the hands of these bougie, low, low-class, materialistic, egocentric, self-centered individuals. They feed each other. Oh, our family is the best. Oh, our family has such a good track record. Oh, our family has superior genes. Oh, our family, yes, everyone is so amazing and athletic. Our family. But they're not referring to you, because our family is anyone who is biologically, by blood, connected to them. You are even below the black sheep of the family, more than likely. What you can do, and I've advised this to clients before, if you've done everything you can do and it really sounds like you have, don't go. Let your husband go. You make other plans. You go spend time with your family. You go do things that are meaningful to you. But you don't have to buy into the rhetoric, the belittling, the silent judgment and criticism that you're undergoing right now. And I come from a place of love because they've trained each other. The reason they spend all their time together is because they've trained each other to give the kind of response they want to give. They have their little isms, they have their little jokes, and they only share what they won't only share so that you'll share something about yourself, so that they have something to criticize about you. Well, here's the thing. Don't share much with them. Don't talk about your relationship with them. They put them in the outer limits of your relationship, of your life. They are not your family. You married into them. They're your family by marriage, but your family are people that love you, support you, care about you, check in with you, and give a darn about your feelings. In the case of one of my clients, and let's call him Fred. He had a situation where he needed help, really needed help. And his family charged him to help him with something that in which he really needed help. But Fred had been there for them and freely, happily shared his time with them. He had to pay them hundreds of dollars to help him when he had given hundreds of hours of his time to help them. What I told Fred was that if they're that he really needed to pull back and to begin to take care of himself, because they were not going to step up and be there for him. And his wife, unfortunately, did not stand up for the two of them, and that's part of it too. If your spouse is not standing up for the two of you and saying, if you are not inviting my wife or husband, I'm not going to be there either. And unless you treat my spouse with the same degree of respect that you treat everyone else in the family, we're not going to be participating in family gatherings. And it's a pretty serious issue. It is a relationship breaker. I have seen it kill marriages when the spouse wasn't willing to stand up. And then the family is even more powerful because they feel like they were the one that drove the relationship apart. They weren't. It was the dynamic between the two spouses and the fact that their spouse was afraid to stand up to the family, or really didn't have that much faith, that wasn't really invested in the marriage. If you're already in this situation and you're determined to stay married, you're going to have to say no to family events to the point that your spouse finally says, if you don't include her, then I'm not coming either. And if she does come, you're going to treat her with the same respect and regard that you would everyone else in the family. She's my family, making her your family too. So that's it, dear ones. Why can't we just love each other And when we do get married, when we do merge our families together, my family becomes our family. Your family becomes our family. Let's just love each other. Let's hold each other close. Let's say thank you for being in my life. Let's support each other. Let's do things for each other because it's nice. Not because we have to pay each other. Let's do it because we're nice. And when we do receive something, thank you. I appreciate your time. And send a freaking thank you note. What the art of sending thank you notes and the ease of sending text messages just doesn't cut it. Take the time to write and send a thank you note to the person that's helped you. Let them know in a very valid way that you took the time, or send them a card. Go buy them a card and mail it to them. Let them know in a very tangible way that you love them and appreciate them and that you're glad that they're part of your family. This is a reason it does tie into the high divorce rate that we have in our country. Because when you feel ostracized, when you feel put down, belittled by family, it's very hurtful. Because you know that you have to see them at least one major holiday a year, if not two. And that they expect you to step up, but may not feel that energy of reciprocity where they step up for you. Love shows up. Let's go over my rules of love. Love shows up. Love doesn't judge. Love has empathy, kindness, and love is generous. And chances are, my dear reader, to the woman who wrote into me, you have married into a family of narcissists, and I would dare to say that your husband has characteristics of narcissism, as he hasn't been standing up for you. He wants to be in the charmed, favored light. So it's time to start taking your life in your hands. And if he won't stand